Good evening and welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Jose Luis Jimenez.
And I'm Angelica.
As you can tell, we're trying something new today, and we're actually we want to take a moment right now to ask you for your prayers. One of our producers unfortunately had an accident this past week. Mr. Javier Perez, you've seen him on the show previously. He's also the director of Talento Bilingüe de Houston here in Houston, Texas. Unfortunately, he had a very, very bad accident. It wasn't his fault. He was unfortunately hit by another vehicle, and he's in the hospital right now. Hopefully, he's watching us. I'm assuming he is, because he's in good spirits and he's out of intensive care now. But it was a big shock to hear that a friend of ours was in that type of accident. So, if you're out there, please pray for Mr. Javier Perez so that he has a very quick recovery. And we pray for the best for his family. Okay. Anything to say for Mr. Javier? Did it come as a shock that happened to you?
It did, and I hope he gets better soon, and we hope and we pray that he does.
He's like the life of the floor here. If you haven't been, we invite you to come. If you're in Houston, we invite you to come to the show. It's recorded here, live here, and you're welcome to be part of the studio audience. We have people today. But you're always welcome to join us and also volunteer here at Latino Talk TV. So let's get right into it. Today's show is going to be very special. We have an organization that we're going to go and we're going to get really in depth and talk about what they do. It's a Christian-based business organization, and we're going to talk about where they came from, what they're doing, and talk about an event that's coming up that we think is very important for you. So that being said, let's talk about what's been going on in the community. Any major news out there?
Well, besides everything that's going on, other than that,
Well, what do you feel about the blast here in Texas with the West Texas, explosion?
It was very unfortunate, and I feel, that it's really sad what happened, and we hope that we can, bring back up, what happened, and hopefully they can get better.
Yeah, our prayers are for the families that are being impacted over there. And it really caught me by surprise that there was no major inspection since 1985. I think that's something that we really have to open our eyes to as citizens, as residents, as business owners. We have to really take into account about how much freedom or leeway we're going to give each other, because a plant of that nature not being inspected since 1985, according to the records, I consider that to be a major flaw in our process.
Right, and so do I. So, I mean, if things like that won't happen, and we need to be more careful, or whoever does the inspections, or it needs to be, a rule or something that they go every year or every 2 years or something like that. So nothing like that could happen.
Right, and we have to also be clear about what they're actually inspecting for, because it makes no sense to have an inspection that just checks the color on the paint or the clarity of whatever's there. They're not really going in depth into the process. So you have to make sure that we have people that are actually knowledgeable in what they're doing before they go out and inspect.
Yeah, and that they're doing it, that they're doing it the way they're supposed to, not just, overlook it, just, just to really deeply look into it.
Yeah, and the other thing that was coming up, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine as a state rep, through Facebook, and the question came up was, we wonder if the plant even had workers' compensation insurance, because in Texas, workers' compensation workers' comp is not required. It's an option. And business owners have the choice of whether or not to buy workers' compensation insurance. And looking at that situation as a business owner myself, I carry it because I believe that that's the best choice of my investment at that time. And, 2, it's a write-off. And 3, I'm protecting my employees from the accidents, and I'm also protecting myself as a business owner.
Right.
But we go back to the question of why in Texas is it still not mandatory, and you go down the road in Florida and it's mandatory. So it's one of those difficult situations, because we want to get the best of both worlds. We want the freedom to hire whoever we want, but we want immigration we want all the undocumented or illegals or whatever the catchphrase of the day is to leave, but we still don't want someone to tell us how to properly do business, and when we get caught, we don't want to get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So I hope that everything at that plant, gets taken care of properly. I hope the families, get restored back to their original condition. And it's hard. I think there was 14 people who passed away from the blast.
I believe it was, and hopefully they do get what they deserve. If anything, hopefully they did have some something to back up and something to give their families in order for them to recover from that.
Yeah, because there's going to be lawsuits all over the place. Let's just see where the money's at, because, you know, at the end of the day, the company declares bankruptcy.
Yeah, and even though it you know, was an accident or something that just wasn't, you know, really looked into, there will still be lawsuits and everything.
Yeah. And what do you think about what's going on over there in Boston?
I mean, that's even, you know, worse, and I feel really bad for everyone who was at the marathon. I mean, you think about it, and it's something fun for you to do, something for you to go and enjoy with the family, and now it's something that you have to think of before you actually do it, because if you're in a big crowd, now you'll probably be afraid to be out there, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, it's, you know, a terrorist, a person who is currently, I don't even know if that's the right term these days, but I call them a terrorist. A person who, if you have to be outside and you're afraid to be on sovereign ground in the United States just to walk around or go to any event, you know, they've instilled fear in our community, and I personally hate that has occurred, because, you know, I'm a veteran myself, and knowing that I have to watch my back just as much as I used to watch my back overseas, you know, it gets to be very, very disappointing.
Yeah, and then you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable to know for sure if you should take your whole family, if you just shouldn't attend these events anymore. I mean, you just don't know anymore. And there is a picture that I saw that, I mean, the person was right next to the young man who you know, unfortunately passed. But, you know, you just don't know who could be around you that wants to cause harm. You just never know.
Yeah. And even though we may not know who's going to cause us harm, but I don't think we should stop being, you know, free to roam around our own country and participate. So we're just going to have to live with the fear and move on. But one of the things that occurred up there that sounded very interesting is well, it's the part where there were some congressional leaders asking for the 19-year-old to be tried as an enemy combatant.
Okay.
And that has a major impact on how the process is going to go. Because the gentleman, or the person, he's not even a gentleman in my eyes anymore, but the 19-year-old is a U.S. citizen. So it also brings into account some other different things about immigration, about at what point, you know, once you're declared a citizen, is there an opportunity to have your citizenship revoked? And that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't think that.
But here, they might create a new opportunity for our congressional leaders to say, hey, yeah, you're a U.S. citizen, but you were an immigrant before. You know, because they can take residencies away all day long. You know, because there were some little talking groups saying that, well, this person should have, you know, declare him an enemy combatant, take away his citizenship. No, that doesn't work like that in the United States. Once you're a citizen forever.
Right, and I don't think that can be taken away once you're in. And also, it would be.
But laws aren't laws meant to be broken and changed all the time?
Yes and no, and I agree with you on that. But at the same time, then it would give also people a reason to take it away, and then people who have worked hard and who have been here for a long time and become a citizen, they still have that fear that they can get it taken away for any reason and get threatened by their employers or something about something that they've done or something. So then it would be taking it away. So then you would also have that fear on people. So I really doubt that the laws will change. I hope, but
you know, crazier things have happened.
Yes.
And, you know, the same thing with the statement of a person who's a permanent resident. You would consider a permanent resident permanently a resident. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. People are getting their permanent residency revoked. So there we go again, right? So
you're just not going to be happy on both sides.
Everybody's never going to be happy, but the best thing that we can do is hopefully focus on improving our country, right? And going to school, doing what's best. You're in school right now?
I am. So I mean, I guess the best thing to do is do what's best for you, and if you behave and you do what you're supposed to do, you shouldn't be afraid of anything, and you don't have anything to be afraid of or anything to fear, because you know you're doing what you're supposed to do, and that's it.
All right. Well, if you agree or disagree, in a few minutes, the phone number is going to be on the bottom of the screen. Our first guests are about to join us. It is a Christian business organization. We're going to let them introduce themselves and tell you their history. But we want to invite you to stay with us and actually please listen to them and participate in the conversation with them. They're here live in our studios at Houston Media Source. And we also want to announce an event that they're going to be hosting here in town that we really want you to attend, okay? So you're watching Latino Talk TV. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Talk TV. We are once again live here broadcasting at Houston Media Source in Houston, Texas. In a few minutes, we're going to post the phone number on the bottom of the screen. Our producers in the back, let's see if they see the finger going like this. Yes, a little bit, almost. Okay, not yet. Well, anyways, our guest has joined us now, and we're going to let them introduce themselves because I'm very excited to find out and hear more about the organization. I know that you will too. So let's just go from there. We'll start off with Mr. Joe Ortega, Executive Vice President, and please introduce your organization.
Thank you very much. The organization we belong to is called Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International. It's the world's largest Christian businessmen and women organization. We're in over 150 nations, and we have over 8,000 chapters.
Wow.
And basically, there's events going on worldwide. They have breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Also, they have seminars, because the big thing about our organization is developing a relationship with God. In other words, we right now are having the power and presence of God in our lives. And that doesn't mean being religious. That's being religious, because we are out in the marketplace. You know, the religious, a lot of them stay in the church, and that's okay. You know, but we basically are out there in the meat market, you know, just working with everybody, you know. And it's beautiful because in the midst of the business, you know, you can have a intuition that comes to you to help out with a person, you know. A lot of times, you know, they're having difficulty, and you can say, hey, wait, just let me give you an example. There's been times where there's people real busy, you know, and just saying their name, you know, it kind of say, hey, they recognize me. I'm a person. You know, just say, hey, Joe, how you doing? You know, just that alone can make the people say, hey, you know, I'm noticed. Because there's a lot of people, you know, in the workforce that, you know, multitask, multi-skill. I mean, we're doing everything, you know what I mean? Because everything is cutting back, and the economy, et cetera, et cetera. But to us, hey, we still stay happy. Because we have that confidence, you know, that we have somebody with us at all times. You know what I mean? And this is 7/24. And that's the beauty, you know, having that relationship, you know, that we can work through, you know, whether it's all stressed out and all, you know, chaotic, but, you know, we have this inner peace knowing that we're going to get through it. No matter what, we're going to get through it. And that's the important thing. And that's the hope we were trying to give to everybody, whether they're in the business place, you know, that's with the stock market, or they're under a car, you know, changing a transmission, you know, and the boss is, you know, hey, you know, we got to do it right now, you know what I mean? And this is what helps people, you know, that there is a better life. And you can be one of the happiest people on earth, you know, and that's the beauty that we're talking about. And this is every day. Every day. You know, my wife and I, we have a business. You know, we have a consulting business. I'm an aircraft technician by, you know, by the license and all that. I'm an inspector, and I work with corporate airplanes. And it's amazing seeing God work in the midst of all that. You know, my wife, she's the director. She takes care of the administration, and I take care of the technical stuff. You know. So I'm going to introduce her, or let her introduce herself.
Okay, well, I'm Rosa. I'm the other half. I like to say that this is a year, it'll be our 60th year anniversary. Yeah. And women came into play in the middle 1990s. And that happened because men started seeing it's an asset to have the woman alongside you and work the events and work out a lot of the scheduling with the men. You know, God brought it together. We're now men and women. So now we have women, the professional women in the workplace, also that have become members. And we've seen throughout the nations how in your community you make a difference, and in your nation. And now we're having women's conferences where they come internationally and share what the Lord's doing throughout the other countries. So it's very important, I think, that the Lord is calling the families, men, women, and the children to be the happiest people on earth. But we have an event, very important. I think George has that test to say the event that we have here in Houston.
Yes, I'm also a businessman. My name is George Segersville. I'm a national director. I'm a business owner. And we noticed that there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of stress in the workplace nowadays. There's a lot of people, there's absenteeism. And people nowadays in the United States are living kind of stressed out. And we see signs of violence everywhere. And in other nations, what we've done is we've gone out to the business community to give them a motivational speech that will talk about principles and values and how to improve your productivity and have a better workplace. And that's what this is all about, that we're promoting. It's called the Happiest People. We call it Happiest People because we said that Christians are the happiest people. If you have God in your heart, you're the happiest people. And so we're promoting this event, again, from May 12th to the 18th. And all you have to just call us and we'll send a team to your business. So you don't have to come to a specific place. We'll come to your place. We can talk to you at lunch break or anytime you can give us from 10, 20, 30 minutes. And we'll have a team of people talking to your staff. And we can guarantee that your staff will be changed, will be motivated, and we'll have peace, inner peace, which is the most important thing. We're going to have people coming from many countries of the world. As a matter of fact, I just came back from Nicaragua participating in an event like that, and we have people from Russia, Ukraine, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico. They were arriving, Nicaragua, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Caribbean. I mean, all people of our organization are going there to also help out. So we're going to have people from other nations coming to our nation, also to our country, especially to Houston, energy capital of the world, to come and help us out. And so we should take advantage of that opportunity. I invite you guys to call us and set up an appointment with us. As a businessman, you know, especially if you're on the top, it's a lonely place. But when you have Jesus with you, you know, you have that inner peace and you have that insight, like Joe was talking. Yeah. Sometimes I make some very tough decisions that I didn't know what to do. I was in a bind and time was critical and you had to make a decision. And an inner prayer, you know, gave me the right direction. And my business has been steadily growing. It is said that life is the result of your decisions that you make through it. And with the Lord in our hearts, we have made the good decisions. Sometimes I made decisions that I was criticized badly by my peers and friends and all that. But you know what? At the end, I was right. You know, and I'm not right all the time. I don't want to say that. You know, but I'm also a UHD alumni, and I'm proud of it. And I went back to school, and I got my second degree at 55 years old. So. Because I wanted to do that.
55 years young.
55 years. That's right. You're right.
It's the other way, not old, young.
No, you're right. So, you know what? Because I had studied business 20 years ago, but the business world had changed dramatically. So I decided to go back. And I'm happy with it. I'm very happy that I did that.
What's the name of your business and what do you do?
It's called Tejas Window Coverings. We have a factory that we make Venetian blinds and draperies. And we've been in business 18 years. And we started very humbly in the Heights, you know.
And we have some of those blinds in our homes. He does a good job.
Yeah, out of an apartment. I didn't even have money to rent an office, but little by little, steadily. And then we moved to a store, and then later we moved into a factory in Spring Branch, and that's where we operate. We have some contracts with some builders in town, but we also offer our product to the public in general. Yeah.
Very nice.
And besides these events that y'all do, how else do y'all go about reaching out to people?
With the chapters like Joe and Rosa were saying, we have meetings once or twice a month in different places, in neutral places. We don't get together in churches because we're not a church. We get together in cafeterias or hotels or different places, and we invite people, especially the business community, to come and listen to stories of success.
Okay.
Business people's success.
So it's mainly for business people, or I mean, it could probably be for everyone, but is that your main goal?
Even a housewife is a business professional, and the best,
really
because you know she invests.
That's right.
But I think Mo, you were going to talk about chapters.
I'm a chapter president. My chapter is located.
Introduce yourself first, please.
My name's Modesto Rivera, Mo Rivera, it's an Americanized name in my nickname. But basically, the chapter that I preside over, it's over at close to Intercontinental Airport on Aldine Westfield. We meet once a month on a Saturday at 6:45, And normally the meeting takes about a couple
AM or
hours.
PM?
PM.
Yeah.
At 6:45 p.m. And normally the meeting takes about a couple of hours. We have a sitting dinner. We bring a motivational guest, normally a successful business person, and that has had travails through his life, but has also came to have a good relationship with God that directed him to do the proper thing and prove him that anyone can have a successful business. And we have that normally once a month. They're very, very inspirational. Just recently we had a doctor from the Philippines, Dr. Pasqua, and he gave his testimony and actual business that he wanted to go to Russia, but he didn't have a penny to go to Russia. And he contacted the airlines through a business partner and said, you know, I need to go to Russia to do this, this, and that. And this business partner gave him an opportunity, recommended him to get some plane tickets to go on Pan Am Airlines to Russia. And lo and behold, he had 2 free tickets to go to Pan Am to Moscow. And when he went out there, he gave inspirational speeches to the KGB while he was out there. And he also with a government out there. So this organization is all over the world. This is an organization that doesn't cross just because we're in America, we're just going to deal with America. We're in over 150 countries. We're in communist countries. We're in free countries. We all need a relationship with God that can guide us to a better life. So basically, we have some training I'd like to point out and an activity. Our activity is going to be from the 12th to the 18th of May. It's going to be here in the city of Houston and various locations. My wife's going to mention the phone number. I was going to mention the website. But basically, we're going to be like in 3 different locations. Hotels. We're going to be at the Holiday Inn Express on the Beltway 8, close to Westheimer. That's going to be one of our locations. We're going to be at the Hyatt at the Imperial Valley off of Beltway 8. And we're also going to most likely have a location on the south side of town, yet to be determined. We'll let you know once you go to our website and make our phone numbers. It's going to be wondrous. All we need for people is to volunteer their business. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And we'll give you a motivational speech on how to better run your business, how to have better productivity, how to have that inner peace like Joe mentioned, of making good, sound decisions. We're going to also give all we need is 10, 15, 20 minutes, and we're going to show you a success story. And it could be either in Spanish or in English. We got both. We're going to have, hopefully, if people don't speak Spanish, we'll have a translator and vice versa. And like George mentioned, we're going to have people coming from Nicaragua. We're also coming from Africa, from Nigeria, from Ghana, possibly from England, from Europe. All businessmen that have encountered all types of problems, issues, economical troubles, and how they've trusted in God to just pull them through. So it's a wonderful organization. I've been in the organization since 1989. I was originally working at the Houston Chronicle at 1010 Lamar were our meetings, and every Thursday I would faithfully go to the meetings and listen to men just give me inspirational and motivational and ethical speeches. And it really helped me make it through the day. And at times, while I was at the Chronicle, I was a supervisor doing accounting work. I couldn't make ends meet. I couldn't balance the debits and credits, the balance sheets, the general ledger. And I would go to these meetings and just be at peace, come back, and just reconcile accounts within minutes. I don't know how to explain it to you, but 9 times out of 10, it normally happened like that. So to talk about
what do you do now?
I do, right now, I'm a small business owner. It's a small tax firm called Becksteff. It's the names of our daughters, Becky and Stephanie.
Good name.
Next Step Accounting Services, we do income tax accounting of all types, small business, LLCs, and also individual. But I also work with the Houston Airport System. I'm a contract administrator for the Houston Airport System, which is the Hobby Airport, Intercontinental Airport, and Ellington. And to talk more about what goes on a chapter, I got my lovely wife here, Ines Rivera, from El Salvador via Puerto Rico.
Now the boss may speak.
Yes, like he said, my name is Ines Rivera. He mentioned I'm originally from El Salvador, my mom from Puerto Rico. So I have I don't know, it's a good mixture. Mm-hmm. It's a good mixture. You know, being Hispanic, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my roots. But being part of this organization has been an eye-opener. The good thing about this is that we meet on neutral ground. Most of the people will say, when they mention churches, that type of, synagogues or whatever, people will tend to say, no, I'm uncomfortable. I have bad experiences. Neutral ground gives you the ease to go into a place that you will have a meeting. Mm-hmm. The meetings are sometimes a breakfast meeting, lunch meeting, or dinner, like in our case. And we mingle a little bit. We have the talking, we sit down to a table and have a good meal. We enjoy each other's company, and then we bring these people, not only men, but women, people that they have come to this great nation, because it is a great nation, mm-hmm. and they decided to work hard to achieve goals. Mm-hmm. But we know that there is the working hard part is actually that hard work. Mm-hmm. But these people that they have come to realize that they can't do it by their own strength, that they need that extra help. And they decided to look up and say, God, help me. They have discovered that those few words can make a difference. They will gain the strength that they need. They will get the wisdom, like George was saying, that sometimes you take a decision and everybody will say, you're out of your mind. That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We all have been there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We all have been there more than once. That's true. More than once. Mm-hmm. You have those moments in which you go to that quiet place and you say, okay, what do I need to do next? When we have our meetings, we have our many things. We have the experiences of, building a business. And some of that in the process have lost relationship, families, spouses, children. Right. But at the same time that they're building those businesses, they've been building a relationship within them that help them go across to build a better relationship with the family, mm-hmm. with the community. You'll be surprised that sometimes we go to these meetings and maybe that week has been, my hectic. God, that you were lacking hours to accomplish the things that you needed to do. And you go to these meetings and you spend a few hours sitting down, just listening. And then you realize that indeed, we can be the happiest people on earth.
So once again, the name of the organization, because now we have the people out there like, I know they're caught. Say, yeah. What are they talking about? Because people are like flipping channels, sure. And they see us. So once again, the name of the organization.
It's Full Gospel Businessman Fellowship International.
Full
en español es FINEC USA.
FINEC.
FINEC.
F-I-N-S.
F-I-H-N-E-S. FINEC.
No, con C al final.
Con C, perdón. Con C.
Sí, FINEC.
Que es Fraternidad Internacional de Hombres de Negocios del Evangelio Completo.
Y todos los que vienen de afuera conocen ese nombre por FINEC. Porque si dices FGBMFI, no conocen. Pero FINEC,
Por los
USA.
latinos.
Okay.
Conocemos
Entonces, para
ahí.
latinos, FINEC. Para todos los demás,
FGBMFI.
it's bilingual in this show.
You're bilingual.
So, what do you think about what they've been discussing? Because here is a perfect future mentoring protege. So, this is a
We need to
wonderful
sign you
young
up.
lady.
We need to sign you up.
Very ambitious.
I think it's great what we are doing, and I think it's a good thing. I don't know if everyone would be, on the same page or agree to everything, but I think that just giving the message and giving them an idea of how to give peace to themselves and be a better person or be a happier person personally, then I think that's great.
And can I tell you at the end too that we're international, so now they're asking for our business in Africa, in Uruguay. There's other benefits other than, the Lord is the biggest and then be at peace, but it's a big networking around the world.
Yeah.
So if you don't agree with that about the Lord, a lot of them come because they want the
business.
networking. Yeah.
The business side.
And they find a better business.
Yeah, because we have two, in the website, we have two memberships. One, a regular member, or the other one is more of an international member. And see, that's where you can promote your business. And then worldwide, they look at that, hey, I know so-and-so, hey, I like that one,
Oh,
And
okay.
that's the beauty, that, you're able to network worldwide.
So it's not just
No.
for...
No. As a matter of fact, our World Convention this year is going to be in Armenia. Armenia is between Iran, Iraq, and all those countries over there. And we're going to have the 60th anniversary book where you can put your business, if you want business with the Middle East.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it
okay.
goes on. It grows with the business professional world.
Well, that's the exciting part.
Last year we had our convention in Bali. We've also had other conventions in Panama,
Panama,
in
Mexico.
Mexico,
Yeah.
and in Fort Lauderdale before that. We've had one here some years ago in Houston, Texas. And it's just so lovely to see at least once a year all these different business people from all over the world that remember you from the previous year. And you could talk to them, how's your business doing? Well, we're doing well. Because of last year, my productivity went up. And it's just encouraging also, because we're living in some really difficult and struggling times, and we need to network better. We need to do the best we can in the services that we provide, but we also need a higher being that can direct us. Because sometimes, like my wife mentioned, it could be a very hectic week. We know that last week was a very hectic week in America. I mean, you heard what happened at Boston, and all of a sudden, boom, it happened in West Texas. And you're going, my God, what's happening? Is it the end of the world? We don't believe it's the end of the world. It's just hard times that we're going through, and we have to just sit down and collect our thoughts and just move on and help our fellow brothers and sisters.
I just want to say that that's why we're promoting that event in Houston, because at the times that we're living in, and we thought that we can bring that to our community. As I told you before, I just came from Nicaragua. Nicaragua have been doing a similar event every year, and little by little they've been reaching more and more people. Last year they reached 500,000 people. In other words, they talked to 500,000 people about God. They prayed with them, and they're able to share a message of peace and hope.
Yeah.
I just came back from that nation, and we even went to hospitals to talk to people, to give them hope and faith.
Because in today's world, most of the time, what you see on the regular news is the Better Business Bureau and the the dirty restaurant reports. All you see is all the bad, negative stuff that's going on. So it's as a business owner too, when you try to do good, that's the stuff that people expect and no one gets any attention. It's all the bad stuff that always gets out there. So people, the general public already has a natural skepticism of everything that is being said. So it's refreshing to hear that there's an actual Christian-based networking group. It's not just one religion. It's
all of them.
All
Yes,
denominations.
many of us, we don't even know what church you go to or so forth. We don't even ask.
We don't ask.
We don't ask.
But
That's
the
not important.
It's based on the desire to live by certain principles and help
Right.
others. And
Transforming
Yeah.
communities, nations, and countries.
Yeah, and when we travel, we pay our own expenses. Nobody pays that. We pay this out of our
That's your job.
It's out of
pocket
our pocket.
because we're grateful to what God has done in our lives. That's why we do this. And that's what we're promoting this event. If you call us to have an event at your place, you want us to come and share one of these speeches or talk to you about that relation that we know about. It's free. You don't have to pay us anything. We don't expect any donation. As a matter of fact, we're not going to ask you for one. We won't. But we just want to do this for you to have what we have in our hearts.
And what we'll do is we'll try to connect the person with a business. Let's say if there's a bank that wants us to give a 20-minute motivational speech, we'll try to find a banker, a successful banker that has gone through troubles to give his, motivational, inspirational speech. If we're in the hospital, we'll try to bring a doctor. If you're an attorney, we'll try to bring an attorney. If you're an accountant, we'll bring them. Bring myself.
Well, we do this.
If you're a small business owner, we'll bring George.
We'll do this. We're going to take a quick break, and I'd like to ask you to treat us as if you're coming to our business, because I'm a business owner and you're a business owner to a point.
Wonderful.
With she's a student and also what's the proper term? Stylist?
Oh, well, I hairstylist, but I don't personally own it. It's my sister's business, but I work there, so.
Okay. But your chair is your world, right? Your customer base and everything else.
So
it's still
it's my job.
It's your job, but it's one of those things where I learned early on in my career is like I treat everything as if I'm my own business. Even if I am an employee, I treat myself as my own business. What am I marketing? What am I doing? What am I presenting? So I'm going to ask you guys to do that for us. You can do that right now. We can do it on the show and give that something so we can record it and also share that with others. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Producers will be right back on the show. We're going to do their presentation right here for us. Welcome back. Now we're going to have a very special event, or a very special treat. We're going to actually see the organization in action, and they're going to start with me. I'd like to turn it over to them. If you don't know this, I'm actually an insurance agent by day and a volunteer for this wonderful show by night, right? So the floor is yours, and do what you do best.
Okay, I'm Modesto Rivera. Nice meeting you,
nice
sir.
To meet you.
I'm also in the small business world. I do accounting, much like you that you do insurance. But it was never a very smooth business of what I used to have. Why? Because I really wasn't a man of ethical and good standing in the society. I was a man that was to be aggressive, to drink, to smoke, and do things that were inappropriate. And those weren't really good conductive in the business world. Because in the business world, you want someone that you could gain trust, that you could trust, give him your insurance policies. You don't want a person that has problems with the law or problems, not fulfilling their contracts on a timely basis or defrauding people. and that'll take your business away. So I was in that predicament of not having a good name for myself, a good character. So I had a relationship with God, and it was in a neutral setting. It was at home. It wasn't even at a church or at a business. And God convicted me that I needed to change. And I accepted that change, and I accepted Him as my personal Lord and Savior. And from that moment on, He started changing me. The language, the way I conducted business, the way I did things, little by little, He took all the vices away, which made me a better person. Once I became that better person, I started getting promotions at the workplace. Why? Because they could rely on me. They could trust me. The product that I gave was a good quality product. The name got out. I didn't even have to have business cards. It just, the name said, oh, you need someone to help you with taxes? Talk to this gentleman. And the word just came out. And I owe that not to anyone but God that changed me from a foul-speaking, drinking person, smoking. And I'm not saying that smoking and drinking is wrong if you do it in moderation. But the thing is, if God directs you in the workplace to take that away, you're a much better person, and you gain trust in people. So I've gained trust in a lot of my clients. I don't sometimes even look for them. Sometimes I turn them down because I'm busy working at the airport in my regular job. So I'm much like you, have my little part-time here and there. So that's something that God really has turned around me. This happened in 1986. Here we are in the year 2013, and it's been a long ways, and I've had my ups and downs, but more ups than downs.
Beautiful. Yeah. Now, this young lady here with her business.
Okay, now what is it that you do so we can go with that?
Well, I'm a hairstylist at my sister's hair
wonderful.
salon,
You
so
touch a
it's
lot
not
of
my own
heads and-
business, but
But you touch a lot of heads, and you imprint on somebody their happiness, or they can feel your vibes every time you do their hair,
Right,
right? Well, what we do with the fire team here, what we're talking is that I will present to you the story of when I was a little girl, 4 and 5, I was raped. That could have destroyed me. That could have made me a human being that was, maybe I wouldn't be the age I am today. And so when I growing up, I had all those issues that I had not told nobody, made me very bitter, very strong, very harsh. But there was a day that I had to deal with in that situation where I gave my life to the Lord. I said, I am tired of being angry, bitter. And somebody led me to a small prayer, very simple. I give you my life, I surrender, and all that is within me is yours today. And that, believe it or not, changed my life to where now it's been a long time since I did that. It just opened doors in whatever I do, and I am more, I think, more aware of other people around me. I want people to have what I have, that light in me, that aspect of getting up in the morning and being a happy person. So when I heard what you did, I thought, "Bye, what an opportunity you have every day when you touch people's lives." Because I know that when you're combing hair, you're talking, right? They talk to you.
Yes.
They are telling you the stories. So
I do.
imagine, Angelica, when you touch their hair, that you touch their life by you telling them your story. And I don't know your life, but if you have not given your life to the Lord, it's a small, I surrender today. And then the Lord just wants to touch His own, those He created, which is all of us. And once you receive that light, it's in the workplace, which makes such a difference, because you not only comb their hair beautiful, you make them look beautiful. There's a lady I've known for years, and she's wore a wig. She's from Africa, but one day we took her to a salon and we said, "Do your thing. Build her up." She looks so beautiful to this day. She's not going up without a wig, and everybody says, "Wow, see what a person like you can do to somebody, change their image." But not only their hairstyle, just hearing the story and giving them hope. And that's what we want to do, give hope to those that don't know the light, that never felt the happiness. I was certainly a person in darkness. Everything was bitter because I was angry. Nobody had heard my story. Once I got touched, I was able to spill the story, and with success and a completion in my life, where now I can say when I die, I'm going to die happy because I would have experienced life with this light. So we invite you to be part of this fire team. We're truly, honestly inviting you to come.
Well, thank you. I truly enjoyed the show today.
Right,
Very
it
different.
was. Could you tell us how someone could become a member, or you know, how
we
to
have
get
a
more
website
involved?
that you'll see on the screen. A
You can put the
website.
website on the
It's
screen.
easy because now with the technology, you can get all the forms. Send in your it's a $50 fee for the whole year. Send in the forms, send that in, and you're it. And then we will put you in the side of Houston you want to be in, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
And then you build up. You bring other women that maybe are distraught, and you can tell your success story. And I know you have one because you glow.
I'm still getting there, so.
Well, you look like you're there, so that's a good
Thank
thing.
you.
And that
I've
you're
always
touching
said
people.
success is the process. As long as you're on the road, you're already
Exactly.
I
successful.
agree.
That desire to get there.
Because
That
there's a
desire.
lot of people who get to the end of the road of success and then they're miserable because they didn't enjoy the process.
I always think about a man that has a lot of money and he's older and he has no teeth and he has a steak in front of him. How sad could that be? But, you know, when you have that hope, there's always a way.
Yeah.
There's always a way. So truly, you being young, I want to see all your young ladies join us and then making a difference in the city. The city needs to hear the good things and see the light.
Right, because I don't only think that maybe business people would need, you know, some encouragement, but obviously the young community as well.
I tell you what happened in Puerto
Especially the young
Rico.
community.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, we did it, never been done before, and they put us in a bus stop. And in 5 minutes, we had to say our spiel. And the story was too long for people that are catching a bus. And I would say, I'm from Houston. I'm here to pray for you. May I pray for you? Sure. And and he was on his way blessed, and I was blessed. So it's about really getting down and touching people. Touching people.
And I want to make a challenge to all the business owners.
Correct.
And I'm going to say this because we have this business and we have seen our finances increase, okay? And if you make him a business associate, you can't go wrong, okay? I tell you what, every time the finance goes down a little bit,
Yeah, we tell the Lord, your bank account is
I get a
going
call from somebody and say, hey, can you work next week or can you work, you know? And so it's always going up.
I just want to corroborate what Joe said.
He knows.
last year, during the month of October, November, those were low months. My sales had dropped, but it only took one sale
Yeah.
to bring everything up, to bring my cash flow up. Only one sale in October, one sale in November. Huge sales. It's just like the Lord was taking care of everything.
As
And he
you do
always
his
has.
work, he'll do yours.
And we could
So-
also meet with military people. I'm an ex-military person myself, served in the military for 26 years. At age 50, they sent me to the Middle East. I thought, no, they won't send me. I'm too old for this. No, they'll send you. They'll send you.
They want everybody.
And, you know, there's a lot of military people that have come from Iraq and Afghanistan that are hurting. That's all they need. They need someone to connect and understand them, pray for them, and just give them direction through God, not through themselves, but through God. And it's a wonderful, wonderful organization, like Joe mentioned, Rosa, George, and my wife.
I just want to add one thing, is that I have noticed that a lot of loneliness in the community. A lot of lonely people. Even some people that also have achieved their goals at the end, they feel empty. You know, a lot of people start drinking. You see that with the stars, movie stars. A lot of people kill themselves. It's because if they feel an emptiness that they can't fill it up with anything, and they try different things. But with the Lord, we have so much peace, and we have purpose. We have in our lives, and that is the big difference. That is a big difference. With Him, you can. I mean, there's no limits. Okay, so what you want to achieve, there's really no limits.
Wow. So let me share something with y'all. About 5 years ago, we started the show. My friend John T. and I, John T., the gentleman in the back over there who hasn't been here. I think it was meant to be that he showed up today to hear this show, right? But 5 years ago, we were sitting there talking because I used to do a lot of media work on behalf of LULAC. I used to be the director of LULAC.
Wow.
And I was in the world of fighting injustice, and that was my daily life. And I ended up, and that was my volunteer time. I love to volunteer. So I used to get to the point to where I get really frustrated with regular media. And I'm not a media professional. I haven't studied this. This is not my career. I'm a businessman. And I just got so fed up with the standard way of covering media that I said, you know, if they're not going to tell our story right, we're going to tell it ourselves.
There you go.
That's good.
And
good.
they told me you're crazy. There's no way. I mean, how are you going to do it? No one wants to give you airtime. So John T said, if you find the spot, we'll do it. I'll back you up. You know, so we spent about 6 months or a year looking for a place, and then Houston Media Source came out of nowhere, and we bought into it. You know, we paid everything that's required, and they told me and him, it's like, how are you going to do it? You know, it costs a lot of money to have a show. You're never getting enough people to volunteer to do this kind of stuff. So we're going to do the whole thing volunteer. People will care about it. They'll see the vision for this.
Right.
And there's like, no, it'll die in within the first few years. Well, 5 years later, you know, all volunteer crew, everyone here, no one gets paid. You know,
We don't get paid.
you know, but it's an opportunity to share a different message that we want to make sure that the people listen, because we also got tired of regular media just giving you the couple of talking points and the little snippet of time. So what you're saying is something that we hopefully are living on a day-to-day basis, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having us. Thank you.
Great to be here with you
Thanks
guys.
for having us. It was an honor and a privilege.
Okay, so please cover the show, the event one more time in detail, so we can cover the details and put it on the screen for the
Okay,
people.
basically, the event will be held from May the 12th through the 18th. A lot of people are going to be coming on Sunday to the city of Houston, and we're going to be at most likely 3 different locations. Actually, the fire teams, which is the teams that Rosa, George, and Joe were talking about, are going to be dispatched from these different locations to your business area. All we need is a business name, an address, and a date time. And what the business is specializes in. So we could match the team to go there, and all we need is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. We have plenty of volunteers that are going to be coming in, sharing their success stories to the different businesses. So the phone number is going to be there. The website, just call us. If you're an owner of a business, from 12 May, we don't care if it's like from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll try to fulfill that obligation and send a team out there. And you don't have to, like George mentioned, you don't have to pay us anything. It's just a satisfaction that we're helping other people. That's all we need.
Want to pay back to the community.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Any closing remarks?
Well, besides you saying that success would mean, in the business area, I do agree, of course, increasing your sales. What other way would you say that being successful in a business would be, besides being only focusing on your sales or on your sales increasing?
Well, there's other ways. One of the ways is through the networking we have with different people. But also, our organization does seminars. You know, that we can, you know, say, hey, we're going to have a conference. You can come and, you know, learn about things. So
Principles and values. Those have become almost non-existent in some areas.
I would say that a business isn't only successful because of the sales, but because of the employees being treated well and you know having a, that would also make it
with your employees and the employees with the employer.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. The producer's telling me get off the air. We're about to be out of time, so thank you so much for watching Latino Talk TV. Thank you to y'all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Join us next week here at Latino Talk TV once again, Monday night at 6 p.m. Have a great evening. Good night.
Okay.